Welcome to the channel. Well, the bikes are cleared out of the shop, and that can only mean one thing. That means I'm going back into woodworking, making some dust. What I'll be doing this time around is I'll be doing a facelift on master bathroom vanity. It's just going to be a simple job, paint and new doors. I'm going with shaker doors again because I got the hang of doing them now. And maybe new hardware and maybe even new faucets for the sink. I don't know yet. So what I'll be using is 2x3 pine with the square edges for doing the stiles and rails, and 5mm panel. So let's get cutting and see how this works out. So this is the master bath that I want to fix. This house was built in the 80s, and I think the oak look back then was common, and it's just time to give it a little facelift and do a few improvements such as the doors. These doors are basically, it looks like 3/4 inch plywood with chair rail around the outside edge to make them look a little fancier. And I'm going to change to shaker doors, and I'm going to put some soft close sliders on the drawers. And you know, it's like they close pretty quickly. So that's basically it. I'm okay with the color of the room, and I want to make sure it stays pretty close to the same style as far as colors go. I don't want to change the Corian countertop, and I'm just trying to keep it under budget. So I'll find a paint color that'll match the rest of the room. So that's about it. the basic door build is done and ready for final assembly. First, I'll get a 35 millimeter bit for doing the easy close or soft close hinges. So I don't want to mess with the router again. That was a bit of a pain. So and I've got one more room to do. The guest bath has a bunch of doors, so I'll have to do that anyway. So I'll get ready to do that. And like I mentioned earlier, 5 millimeter plywood. Yeah, this stuff is pre-primed. I'll prime it again anyway. And 1x3s and groove and tongue and groove, I guess. So time to finish the build. I'll just be using the kit to mark the center line. I found that this particular drill likes to walk a little bit, so I'm going to use a guide first to do the preliminary drilling, and then I'll use the big bit. There you go. The hinges are aligned. This time they're pretty much perfect. The only thing I find with these is that the little notches to align it with the door frame, they tend to touch the corner here. So what I may have to do is just knock a little bit off these corners. But otherwise, it's looks like it's going to work. All I'm going to do to mount the doors is just clamp this to the bottom of the frame, like so. And because I want the doors flush with the bottom anyway, makes it easier. Fit the new door to the frame. There we go. And after I get the second door mounted, I'll see if I got my dimensions right. Well, I don't know if this is common practice, but when taking this thing apart, I had a hard time aligning the bottom one for putting out the this slide out shelf. When I started taking the drawers off, I noticed that once I took the sliders out, and these boards are actually held in place by the 4 screws that they have in the sliders. That's kind of weird, but that's basically how they did it. So here's that one. So I'm going to have to remedy that by putting a piece of wood behind here and getting a little bit of better support. The other thing is, maybe it's common practice, I don't know, but I don't know if you can see this. Some of the wood, the boards are held together with a series of staples. I found this in a number of places, and over here as well. Now, I'm no carpenter by any stretch of imagination, but I don't think I would have done it this way. So anyway, I'll work on that and give it a bit more rigidity. These are the basic drawer fronts. The top one was a bit too wide. The board I got was about 3/4 of an inch too wide, which worked out to my favor. So I cut it down to the right size. I forget what the size is now. 6.5. And the piece I used for this was for the bottom drawer. It was about the same width, too narrow. So I just added it on. And this is now full 10 inches. And I kind of cheated on this. I used the 2 good ends from the factory finish. I used glue on the new piece and just 3 screws on the bottom. So that's going to be solid. The middle piece is just fine the way it was. It's 1 by 10, which is actually 1 or 3/4 by 9 1/4. So all I have to do now is cut them down to the correct width, which will be 19 inches. And they're ready to install and put them on the drawers. They're all installed temporarily. Not all the screws are in, but just for fitting. And I'll finish that up shortly. So I'll just cut these down to size, and that would probably be it for the drawers. And then, of course, just painting and the finishing touches on the sliders. Mount the drawer fronts. I'll start with the bottom. Use the board at the bottom like I did for the doors, and I've marked these outside and up where they're supposed to go. Maybe an oversimplistic way of doing things, but I think it'll work. cabinet door fronts are installed. They're just put on with screws right now, and they're going to remain that way, except I'll put some extra screws once all the final adjustments done. But the doors actually work pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This one has a little bit of a tight spot, but I'll take care of that when I put the rest of the screws in. Of course, the doors, like I showed earlier, they're all soft close. And I put one of the panels up. I gotta get another board. I miscalculated on how much footage I need for this size of board, so I'll just get another one and finish this side off and go from there. So like I say, these they're not aligned perfect right now, pretty close. I'm using this as a 1/2 inch gauge, so this guy here's got to go that way, and then the drawer's got to follow suit, so on and so forth. I don't know if you recall, when I first started this video, I had mentioned I wasn't too sure if I was going to change the faucets or not. Well, I'm going to change the faucets because they are demanding it, it turns out. Here we go. That's not a good thing. So, I got new faucets coming. The other thing I noticed is that the cabinet maker put a filter plate on the left-hand side, down over here, but failed to put one on this side, so there's an open space. So what I've done is I've built a piece, and I'm just going to attach it over here. Well, it's finally finished. Put the new faucets in, and an extra little bonus, we decided at the end to put in some tip out trays, so we put other little knickknacks in there, I guess. So that one took a little bit longer. And like I showed before, the drawers are soft closed, and they need to be loaded up. We've got a ton of stuff to go through. It's kind of like going through archaeology. Some of the stuff I found back there was expired 10 years, so these slide out trays will probably help with that, so we can see what's back there more easily. So anyway, there it is. After this, I'll be off to the next project. Well, the shop's back to normal. The dust is gone. The bikes are back in. This wasn't a one-day project like you see in the TV ads. I don't work that quickly. But it turned out okay as far as I can tell. The project was about $400, not too bad. I reused some of the plywood from another project. Actually, it was a kitchen when we tore down the old kitchen and put in a new one. I kept all the plywood from there, so that's where the slide outs at the bottom of the cabinet came from. So that cost me nothing, because I also reused the old sliders, the drawer sliders from the drawers, to put on the slide outs for the bottom of the cabinet. The slide outs should probably help with the issue of finding very old expired product in the bottom. We found some stuff that were expired 20 years ago, so maybe easier access will take care of all that. So no more archaeology projects. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.